It's one of the most anticipated nights of racing at Stafford, and a day is finally here. SRX makes its return for the second time in 2 years as we get ready for an exciting night of action, including this race as well as the SK Modified 50-lap Showdown, sponsored by RaceChoice.com. But today's preview, we'll be focusing on SRX, and Kyle Rickey standing by with our Spring Sizzler winner.
And Bonssa, the most recent winner here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, part of the SRX field, won the Napa Spring Sizzler just a couple of months ago, and Matt Hirschman. And Matt, first off, how excited are you that the weekend is finally here?
Oh, very. I've been looking forward to this every day since Sizzler win, and been busy for sure. So the time's gone by pretty quickly, but glad to be here, glad to be a part of this, and just looking to make the most of the experience.
How do you prep for this? If there's a possible way to prep for this on a race car that you've never been in before, but on a racetrack that you have experience on?
Yeah, not really anything. I watched the telecasts on CBS, just tried to kind of understand the program pretty much. But as far as the car, that's all just try and learn today in a short amount of time. Everybody that's a part of this has been very accommodating. Appreciate the opportunity. Got a High Point on the car as a sponsor, and myself got Rowdy Energy and OfferPad as sponsors. So just getting a lot of exposure, bringing new people into being part of my racing, and just hopefully now make the most of it tonight.
Is there anybody here in the garage that you've built a relationship with that you can maybe go to for some advice over these next couple of hours before the race?
Well, there's a few guys I know because, Bobby Labonte's been racing the Smart Tour. I've run with him in the spring. I've already raced. I was actually just talking to Ryan Newman because he raced last night. So we were talking mostly modified stuff. But if I need some advice later today, I can go to these guys, and pick their brain a little if needed. But again, we're all here to win. So, I know how that goes. I think they'll be helpful, but obviously they're out to win as well.
Best of luck. Have fun out there.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you to Stafford as well. The opportunity with winning the Sizzler to get in, and really enjoying this great opportunity.
It's the day he's been looking forward to since the end of April when he picked up the Napa Spring Sizzler win. Matt Hirschman set to compete tonight. Let's see who Bonssa Tufa's been able to catch up with.
Last year, one of the contenders for the SRX victory at Stafford was Greg Biffle. He came from the back, was competing up front. You came up a little bit short, but what did you take away from last year's race that you can take for tonight?
Well, absolutely. A little bit of track experience. Although it's been a year, I'm going to have to relearn this racetrack a little bit. But just gives me an opportunity, to come back to a place for the second time. All these racetracks are first times for me, so it'll be nice that this is the second time I get to look at it.
How would you describe how the car drove last year at Stafford? Was it on the tight side, on the loose side? What was the biggest challenge, you think?
I think it drove, really the balance was really pretty well. It was a little bit tight, but that's the way you want these cars so you can race each other pretty hard. Typically, I like a car that's a little bit free, but when you're, beating and banging a little bit, having a little security doesn't it sure helps the cause.
I'm sure there'll be a little bit of beating and banging tonight. Greg Biffle did well last year, looking for his first win in SRX. Now let's go to Kyle Rickey and see who he has in the pits next.
And Bonssa, we are with Uncle Tony here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. How's the week been for you? Have you calmed a little bit from last Saturday night?
Not really. It's this is one of the most amazing group of drivers I've ever raced with, but we sure didn't look like world class. We didn't look like Indy 500 winners, Daytona 500 winners, Brickyard winners, championship drivers by any means, in my opinion. So see if we can calm it down a little bit this week.
7 days later, people are still talking about it.
Yeah, I'm still talking about it 7 days later even. No, it's, this is a series that, these drivers are here for a reason. They've won a lot of championships and won a lot of races, and they're passionate about winning. But, the thing that we don't have in these cars that every racing series almost has, except, dirt track racing, is spotters. And so when you're on short tracks, it makes it a little bit difficult and adds some elements of difficulty that they don't normally have and we don't normally have. So just trying to figure out how to make it to where everybody's looking out for each other and not just driving across each other's noses nonstop is a little bit of a challenge this year for some reason.
Final question for you. This series opened at Stafford a year ago. Are you happy with how it's evolved in the year and 3 weeks since?
Yeah, and definitely glad that Stafford is back on the schedule for this year. Jack and his family, just unbelievable people. This is a very iconic speedway. Obviously, that's why it was on the schedule last year too. So glad we get a chance to come back here, and we had a lot of fun here last year. So hopefully we'll have another exciting race this year.
We need to get them back in a modified because it's been a few years for that as well.
Tommy Baldwin offered me a great car, one of his, and just too much work and too busy with my obligations with SRX. But I told him, I said, we are one day going to do this. And most people don't know Tommy Baldwin was the crew chief on the very first Cup car that I ever drove with Harry Raniere. So think a lot of Tommy and what he's done in the Northeast in the Modified Series. I mean, his records speak for itself.
Have fun out there tonight.
I will have a blast.
Tony Stewart back with us here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Let's go back to the other side of the pit to see who Bonsa's been able to catch up with.
Kyle, I got SRX winner Marco Andretti here with me, who was really fast last week at South Boston. Now, you raced last year at Stafford. You made the infamous 3-wide move in turn 4. What do you think about the track and how the race car drives here?
I don't know. I like it. I like the line options. I like how you can run below the apron. Because for me, in IndyCar, you never could even think about doing that. So that's really fun to play around with lines and stuff. I think I have some unfinished business from last year here and last week for sure.
I was about to say, a couple upset drivers last week. You finished really close up there towards the front to a spin. So how do you think tonight or this race is going to go in terms of how people treat each other on the track?
That's what's great about SRX racing. I have no idea where it's going to go. So, my goal is not to make anybody mad, but I just want to. I was a little impatient last week, so I'm kind of bummed out at myself for that. But I took the brunt of that, and looking for a little redemption this week.
We'll see what happens tonight. It's going to be a fun one with SRX returning to Stafford for the second time this year. Tickets are sold out, so you'll be able to watch the race tonight on CBS at 8 p.m. But for now, let's go to Ben Dodge in the booth.